All right, so teaching down with a young dog without food. Tricky. I save it to last. Now, here's the thing about down. Your face is right by theirs. So you got to be careful with this one, right? If you're going to use spatial pressure and molding techniques, which is what I'm about to do, know your dog, and if there's a question about them biting, you got to muzzle them. Now, it doesn't mean that you all of a sudden it's crank and yank just because they got a muzzle on, but be aware of that. And, you know, even if you do use food to shape this and lure them, food can often be a trigger for aggression, so there's a risk there as well. So down, no matter how you do it, can be a little tricky because of the position of your face relative to theirs. You got to be careful no matter how you teach this. It's one of the reasons I save it till the end. It's also, it's a pain in the ass with all of them because it's a submissive position. They don't want to go into it most of the time. They can be a little stubborn about it. Sometimes with dogs, particularly dogs that, like Lottie I did this with, that are really fearful, they're insecure, right? And you could tell, like, if you push them too hard, put too much pressure on them, they might go from being like sweet and kind of anxious and nervous to just having a fear response that's aggression. So I don't want to elicit aggression out of a dog. So for a day, I bribed her 2 or 3 times. No big deal. Intermittent reinforcement, the end just took it away real fast. You know, sometimes you got to surrender to win. And I'm not an ideologue about the food issue. I just think that people need to be aware that there are inherent risks with, at least with family pets. You know, owners have a hard time being assertive. So if you're feeding them treats all the time, and that's sort of like, I can get away with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot cops can get away with it. Most trainers can get away with it. Obedience guys. You know, like people, family pets that own family pets, you got to think about the potential repercussions there, creating a transactional dynamic with the dog. If you do it, the rule is to take it away very quickly. And there are some things you can't teach without it, like the rear end control. I don't know of any way to really get that sharp rear end control without it. So, you know, there's a lot of aesthetic stuff and a lot of advanced stuff that you can't teach without food. Basics, I don't really find necessary, but if you, with this one particular command, you know, I reserve the right to do it on very rare occasions, but I still don't really think it's necessary. So I'll just show you what I do, and it's just a molding technique. Now, I already got her tired. She's jumping around. We're doing a little play. Now I'm going to get to down with her. Now we're going to get to business. Now, you got 2 basically things that you can do. One, you do spatial pressure. You can kind of lean into them. You give them the command, and as you go down, you kind of swivel your elbows so that it's lined up with their spine. Very light, gentle pressure. And if they're kind of not moving, you can sweep their legs. You can do it nice and gentle, or you can do it quick. With Dewey, boop, just like that. Went down like that. That's from a sit position. By the way, to get a really smooth down where their rear end goes backwards, I don't know of a way to do this without food. That's competition aesthetic stuff, though. You know what I mean? I don't find that stuff necessary. Kickback stands, you can't do without food, that I know of. Oh well, you know, I mean, I will give up some aesthetics for family pets. I think that's okay. You gotta be careful. Don't make this feel like heavy compulsion to them. They're already nervous. You're putting them in a awkward position it's very submissive for them. Okay, so the other thing you can do is gentle leash pressure. And as you do it, just kind of put your hand outward and don't say the command as you go. Wait until they get moving. Because if you say the command, again, it's going to create this sort of compulsive dynamic or whatever. So that's what I'm going to do. If I do, I may use a little bit of leash pressure, spatial pressure, again, which is just a molding technique with my hands, and I'll walk you through it. We're going to start up high on a platform. We may go a little lower one after. We'll see. All right? And that's another thing. Start high, gradually work your way downward with platforms, okay? All right, baby, heel. Here, girl. Up. Good girl. Put the leash straight out, okay? Very good. Here you go, girl. Down. Good girl. Good, so she did it right away, okay? Now we want to make sure her back legs, though, don't splay out like that. So I'm just gonna, that's it, straighten up, oh, down, down, that's it, good girl, straighten up, good girl. And then I'm gonna make sure her head is up off the ground. Gently massaging her upward. Good girl. Good down. Once she gets down, blow her up with praise. They don't like being down there. They're already going to be a little nervous. Let them know what a good girl she is. Good down. Good job. Sit. Let's go. That's a sit. Good girl. Straight up. Good. Straighten. Good girl. Down. I'll show you the leash pressure. Let's go. That's it. That's it. Nope, down. There you go. Good girl. Good down. Good girl. That's a down. Good girl. See how gentle that is? There's like barely any tension there. Very good. Now, because this has the heaviest component of compulsion to it in the acquisition phase, it's, again, why I save it till the end, until they're already receiving corrections for other commands that they've fully learned and acquired at this point. So corrections familiar to them, and they're a little bit toughened at this point too. Good girl. Very good. Sit. Good. Sit. Good girl. Straighten up. Good. Straighten. Good girl. Very good. Down. Good. Down. Good girl. Straighten up. Straighten up. Straighten up. Oh. Go down. That's down. Good. Pat her paws out. Very good. She's getting a little nervous there. I did that a little awkwardly, so that's on me. Okay. So we're going to work on her positioning later, and we'll do it passively up against the wall. But she's doing the position, okay? And that's good enough for right now. Sit. Oh, sit. That's a sit. Girl. We're not going to do it from the front yet. Maybe we will. Heel. Oh, good. Good. That's it. That's a good girl. Very good. Who's a good baby, huh? Who's a good girl? So it's in frame. So now we use this as a wall. Now that we're lower. Ready? Heel. We'll do it from a stand. Okay, ready? Down. Down. That's what they always do. So you got to kind of block them in. No. Down. Good. Down. Good girl. Very good. I know that's a bummer, right? Good girl. Good down. Very good. Sit. Good. Sit. Good girl. Go, baby. Straighten up. Good girl. Very good. Good girl. Go, baby. Ready, girl? Down. Little leash tension. That's it, baby. Good girl. I'm just leading her by the leash. I'm showing her where to go. She's got it now. Sit. Good. Sit. Good girl. Maya. Nope. Sit. How do you go, puppy? Good girl. I'm confused there. Okay. Heel. Good girl. Up. Good. Sit. Good sit. Straighten up. Good, straighten, good girl. Now, if you go from a sit to a down, you got to make sure their posture is perfect, because if it's not good in a sit, it's going to be bad in a down. Relax. So we want to make sure those back legs are in proper position, not splayed out like that. Straighten up. Make sure she's parallel to you and straight. Good girl. Good sit. Good. Down. Go. Down. Okay. All right. So we'll wait on that. Let's get her to master it from the side. Here you go, girl. Relax, relax. Good girl. Down. Good. Down. Good girl. That's it. All right. Good enough. She's on the way to basically acquiring this. She's not having a good time. She's tired. Good, but she did it. Keep it We'll keep it short and sweet. Again, keep their chin off the ground in this position so that they feel good about themselves. Posture affects their mind. Okay, good girl, very good. All right, so there's an alternative way to do it. That was a little sloppy, but you know what? A lot of times starting out, it's sloppy. And look, training when you're teaching, it's not always aesthetically pleasing, right? But we both lived through that. She's okay, you know. It's slightly more uncomfortable teaching this without food to a dog than I would prefer in the acquisition stage, but it is not damaging. And I consider it less of a risk to do it this way than potentially form a transactional relationship with the dog. You know, it's like, hey kid, go get me the paper. Yeah, Dad, give me 10 bucks, you know. I believe that there's a risk of that developing with the food stuff. Not a huge ideologue on this issue. I'm open to it, especially for more advanced stuff. The basics, I generally don't think necessary, except for sometimes with this command. That's it. But there's an alternative way to do it. Old school, just molding with your hands and a little bit of leash pressure. That's it.